Hello, Katrina. I'm responding to your post. Um, I agree. I totally agree. Greed and money and profits need to be checked um, before entering into that kind of business. Obviously, because it's a capitalist system, at least with this story, profits are going to be a huge thing, but that doesn't mean that we can't look at values as well and encourage responsible behavior. And it needs to be a top-down thing from the company down to the leadership, down to the followers. The example that that company sets is going to be what basically everybody is looking at. Um, for example, with this story, the firm was known for this kind of exploitation and the way they do things. So, of course, whatever business they do, whatever situation they start, that shadow that they're going to cast is going to be in anything they do. Um, I think about the organizations I've worked for. Um, Whenever my leadership would cast a light, that's what I would be attracted to because I want to cast a light too. I want to lead my followers like I was led. But when I encountered administration and leadership that was very toxic, unfortunately, it makes you toxic too. Um, it bleeds off on you, and of course, you pass that on to others. And it's hard because it's a behavioral thing. So I try to get myself out of those situations, or I try to make improvements in those areas if I can. If not, then it's going to be a bad situation. But I've learned with that toxicity or those shadows that are casted from that leadership, much like this firm, I try to direct it to the proper channels. If somebody's being toxic to me from the top, I'm going to be toxic right back to them. I don't want to pass that on. I don't want to cast that shadow onto my followers or the people that are working under me or with me because that's just not in my personality to do that. But I don't want to be toxic at all, but your leadership, if that's what they give you, you're going to give back what they give you. So if you're stuck in that situation, like for example, as a teacher and working in education, we sign term contracts for a year. We're kind of stuck in those positions for a good amount of time. So you got to make the best of the situation. But I try to encourage responsible behavior. I try to look at the values, and then I try to combat that shadow as much as possible that's being casted on me. So I liked your post. That's the similarities I found. I didn't find too many differences because I think we share a similar sentiment.